In order to make sense of the basic general plot of the entire Bible, I think this tool that we are going to really use throughout this semester is one of the best in order to gain an understanding of what's happening from the book of Genesis all the way through to the New Testament. And I think in this way, you'll have a good compass with which to navigate the Bible going forward. So that is my goal for this semester with you, is to kind of give you that basic general plot, see where some of these other books fit in. And this timeline that you're seeing here is divided into 12 different time periods and focuses on a specific number of books in the Bible that really carry the plot forward from creation all the way through to Jesus. So that's kind of our goal. We'll go over these period colors as we go through them. And we'll also talk about where some of these other books fit into this greater narrative. Here is another image, if you will, that will kind of help you wrap your mind about this general plot. The first time period that we'll study is the early world, and you can see that the book that period corresponds to is the book of Genesis, chapters 1 through 11. So that will be our stories of creation, the story of the fall, all the way up to the story of the Tower of Babel. And then the next time period we'll cover is the age of the patriarchs, and that begins with the call of Abram, who you may know as Abraham. And again, we'll go over these together and discuss these and make sure we have an idea of these major time periods. And to be honest, we won't get through, obviously, to the New Testament books because we're in the Old Testament. But my goal for this semester is to get through to the divided kingdom period and maybe even discuss the exile a little bit. Time is always of the essence when it comes to the Old Testament. There's so much to cover, but these are the major time periods that we'll be going through and focusing on this semester. One of the major themes of the Old Testament and all the way through to the New Testament is these covenants, which we will define and discuss in this presentation. And it's important to know that this word is often translated testament. So when you hear Old Testament and New Testament, what's really being referred to here is the Old Covenant that the Israelites formed with God at Mount Sinai, and then the New Covenant that is established by Jesus Christ. So, what exactly is a covenant? A covenant is a solemn agreement or an oath between two parties that establishes a sacred family bond. Now, this is our definition for our purposes here, and certainly this corresponds to the biblical notion of what a covenant is. The two parties involved in the Bible, one of those parties is going to be God, and the other party is going to be um, one of the major figures we'll be studying, starting with Adam and leading all the way up into King David. So we'll take a look at those covenants as we go through. But by the end of this slide, I'll give you an image that kind of tracks how those covenants are establishing this sacred family bond. It's important to note that this covenant oath includes a commitment by both parties and responsibilities. If the oath is broken, which we'll see happens over and over again, there are consequences to breaking that oath. Here are some examples of um, oaths that are sworn even to this day, and it just demonstrates, I think, our natural kind of understanding of what these are. It's more than just a promise. An oath is a commitment, and it entails responsibilities that are to be upheld with serious consequences if they are not. So you see in the top left image, you see a witness who is swearing under oath that she will tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? We expect this from um, our citizens who, are willing to testify to whether it was a crime or whatever the case may be about. And perjury is a serious offense. We know that when people swear under oath, if they are proven to be lying intentionally, that there are serious consequences, including prison time. You see former President Barack Obama, all presidents take an oath as they enter office, swearing to uphold the Constitution and the freedoms and values that we stand for as a nation. You see the two rings. I think this is probably the best image of a covenant, as a man and a woman commit themselves to one another. And that's really what a covenant is all about. It's not just an exchange of goods and services, which is more along the lines of a contract. For example, I may need some trees cut down in the back of my yard, and I hire a company, and we sign a contract. They promise to remove said trees, and I promise to pay for said services. But a marriage is really all about giving yourself to the other freely, without reserve. And that's really what's happening when you think of these covenants in the Bible, where God says, I will be your God, you will be my people. Right? That's an exchange of persons, not an exchange of goods and services. What can you do for me and what can I do for you? But giving of oneself to the other freely, and that's really what's happening here. And then you see one more image in the bottom. If you know anybody in the medical profession, that they swear the Hippocratic Oath, that they take this oath to always promote health and well-being, and to not harm anyone in their practice of medicine. Finally, here is that chart I alluded to earlier, that really highlights these major covenants that we will be highlighting as we go through our study of the Old Testament and salvation history. And these major covenants are really the kind of major milestones of Scripture, and I think it really does a good job of kind of demonstrating how God is expanding his family throughout these covenants that are established throughout the Old Testament into the New. So you see again that first covenant we'll be taking a look at in our first unit, really, is the one established with Adam and really all mankind. And you see that it really started with that one holy couple, Adam and Eve. And you can see from covenant to covenant how this family form expands. So one holy couple to one holy family, Noah and his wife and his sons. And then in the next covenant with Abraham, you're now a tribe. And then to Moses, you're a nation. So you can see how it's just getting bigger and bigger. God's family is encompassing and gathering more and more of his children as these covenants are established. So we'll be taking a look at these, but I want you to understand the definition of a covenant, that it's that mutual exchange of persons, it's a commitment, it entails responsibilities, and how these covenants are really expanding God's family, his kingdom here on earth. And again, we'll be going back to this and back to this as we move forward through our study of sacred scripture.